and welcome to the first and sexiest episode of Trisha's Hideous Quiz. Trisha can't be joining us this evening, unfortunately. She's collapsed. She fell through a manhole cover. But it is now indeed us four. My name is Rosanna. You can call me they or call me she. That's fine. I'm one of the players. Eventually I'll be a character in this story, but we haven't met any of them yet. So here is Posey.
Hello, I am Posey. I am she, her. And Rosanna did try. Rosanna? Fuck.
I wasn't involved with Patricia's accident.
Rosanna and Trisha aren't the same. They have a lot of similar features. They're not the same person.
We've got the same jawline.
I am so sorry. You have exactly the same hair.
Thank you for the shade, Posey. Introducing another one of our players. This is Drac.
Hi, I'm Draconic, so Jack for short. I use he, him pronouns, and I'll be honest, I'll admit it now. I was the one that removed the manhole cover. Patricia owes me money, and she didn't give me the money, so...
That is classic Patricia.
She got credit card scammed last week, Drac. You are heartless. And rounding out our collection of quiz, we have a melon sellotaped to a mop. It's Robbie Taylor Hunt.
Hi, I'm Robbie Taylor Hunt. I use he, him pronouns. Thank you. I did get a text from some of the rats down in the sewer saying that Trisha's sort of created some sort of despotic regime down there already, which is just trademark her.
That sounds like her, and we are our hideous quiz.
We belong to her.
Okay. As a group of four together, we're going to be telling, acting out, improvising generally a story with the aid of each other, of course, some dice, and we'll be using D&D 5th edition mechanics to do so. As players, all of us will play individual characters and make a series of profound and super dumb choices, and we'll roll dice and see if they can happen. Speaking of stuff happening, Robbie.
What? Hi, I'll be the game master or dungeon master, which means that when the players make decisions, it will be me who says whether things succeed or fail, decide like how high or low they have to roll on the dice, and then narrate the consequences. I'll also play everyone else that they come across in the world, no matter how silly they are. Largely, we're using these 20-sided dice, and then the characters have like modifiers and things which get added and taken away to those as well. But there's also some other funky dice you might meet along the way. Great. I think let's get started, team, unless there's anything else anyone wants to say. Whew. As we descend through a constant haze that dissipates the light from sun, moon, or stars, we find ourselves floating high above the endless expanse of a barren landscape. We glide across fields of lifeless reeds hiding unthinkable beasts, plains of ash that billow between crags and crevices without the aid of wind, and rolling sand dunes that undulate between fractured structures, the remnants of a forgotten time. This is the Tundro. The Tundro is a wasteland, and the Tundro is all there is. Soaring forward, we dive over the edge of a cliff and towards the faint shimmer of a huge dome. A blue sheen denotes the edges of this protective bubble with a humming hanging in the air. Drifting through its boundary, we find ourselves above Corestellation Red, a cluster of 5 small settlements that are scattered below us like a constellation of stars. We zoom past the larger ones and go across nearer the edge of the boundary of the dome to what looks like a ramshackle collection of tents. These tents are some just bits of material stuck up with wood and plank. Some are sort of bits of metal that have been pranged together in little formations. Some people just kind of dug into the ground a bit and in sort of big sleeping bag-esque bits of material. People are kind of moving around and about, but over in one side, there's a cluster. This cluster is mainly composed of the Rhaetian people. The Rhaetian ancestry as people who have a sort of leonine features. They've got the kind of short fur that would associate with lions. Lots of them have some sort of mane to them, kind of greyish or beige or like golden fur. As part of their culture, they wear sort of like jerkins and kind of quite casual, practical clothing, as well as some of them having sort of like ear jewelry of various sorts. There's a kind of 10 to 20 or so Rhaetian folks all gathered around a little enclosed area where there's a table and 2 chairs. You see behind one of the chairs is an older Rhaetian man who's kind of grey infused with his kind of goldish fur, little jerkin, matted mane, and a bit of a scar over one eyebrow. And next to him is his adoptive daughter, who's this little leopard-like girl in a big smock. This is Broken Rock Spitball and his daughter Springleaf Spitball. And on the chair in front of them is his other adoptive daughter. Would you like to describe your character for us, please, Rosanna?
Yeah, all right. So then her name is Deadly Bramble Spitball, but she uses Bramble as a nickname, though she's never seen one, but she's heard stories about what they might be like. She, much like the rest of her folk, has like gently leaning fur. In the summer, you can see that her tabbiness comes out and she becomes striped on her arms and down her back. She has elongated limbs which move in a kind of feline yet slightly alien way. The tuft of mane down her back is accompanied by one very prominent pink seahorse fin, as she also, instead of more feline eyes, has the bright round eyes of a serpent, and occasionally you get a peek of a forked tongue. Everything else, however, generally very suited to the desert, and her fingers diddle around and spin a weighted golden arcane coin in one hand as she sits next to a huge, like, hourglass-shaped sandboard leant against her leg, and her ears weigh heavily with jewellery and piercings that rattle as she speaks. And I sit and look at my dad and my sister.
Great. You see that your dad is like, right, look, there's still some people coming. There's going to be a big crowd. I don't want you to embarrass us in the family. Your other dad couldn't be here, but I want to be able to go home and tell him over dinner you've made the family proud, all right? So don't blow it.
This is another one of those, like, surprise occasions. Like, you always do this. I don't know what it is. I can't dress accordingly because you turn up and we have a sort of ceremony and I never know what's happening. Last time, it was a wedding. The time before that, a funeral. I can't prepare.
Yeah, look, this is high stakes, last of your money sort of gambling situation. She's come back. She's gonna put a lot of money down on this. So just don't blow it, all right? We know what she's like, and you know who it is, yeah?
My eyes go, like, wide and the pupils narrow, and I'm like, yeah, all right. I won't blow it. I'll be fine.
You see your little sister, Springleaf, is like, you're going to be great, sis. I'm so proud of you. You're going to win all the cash, and we're going to blow it on whatever we need at the market.
We are going to have words about Springleaf's behaviour. For this kind of recklessness, while indeed endearing and central to our culture, is worrying. We can't just blow all our cash, Springleaf.
It's like, I want all the shiny things. The dad's like, yeah, I know. We'll have a word with her. You see the final kind of Raishin sandboard down in the sand towards you and like get off and start gathering around just in time for one of the tents nearby parts open, and through that comes an aim-learn. The aim-learn ancestry people are humanoid, but have a sort of like gelatin layer to their skin. They have big seahorse-esque fins that run from their head down their spine, much like what we can see on our dear Deadly Bramble. They have serpent-like eyes and forked tongues that dash out. This woman is wearing a sort of gauze flowing robe, and she saunters over towards this chair to sit opposite Bramble.
She's in high heels.
High heels digging into the sand as she goes.
Oh, this is tough for you.
This is Deadly Bramble's adopted birth mother, rather, who is sort of in your life a little bit as like an aunt figure. She comes and sits down and goes, darling, look at you. You look wonderful. Wow, razzle dazzle, you're a bear.
I thank you so much, Auntie Mum. I look to my dad and I'm like, I don't know how to refer to her. I'm not sure I can't decode anything she says.
She stands on her chair and goes, Auntie Mum, I love that. You can all call me Auntie Mum. Oh, no, you can't. I'm Lady Ziza. She does a little dance on her chair for everyone. People are like, ooh.
I find myself just inadvertently like doing a step shuffle with my feet as if I were wearing tap shoes. And I'm like, I've always wondered where I got that from. Fair enough.
The tap off the chair reverberates across the sand. She says tap as she taps.
I join in. I've got no control over it. I'm like, yeah, tap. It's infectious.
All the Raishin are watching, like, sure, as you tap quietly with your birth mum. She jumps down and sits in the chair. She goes, "You know how this all works, darling. You do know this game, Bramble. This is a typical dice rolling game. What will happen is you will be both betting 4 gold. Each time you will decide whether you want to roll a D8, that's an 8-sided dice, a D10, that's a 10-sided dice, or a D12, that's a 12-sided dice. If you both roll a D10, then whoever gets the higher roll gets their opponent's money. If you choose a dice which is one less, so if you choose a D8 and she chooses a D10, your chances are worse, but you'll get double the cash. If you choose 2 less, you will get 4 times the cash. And vice versa, if you choose higher, you get less cash because you had a luckier chance of winning. Does that make sense?
That makes sense, yeah.
Great.
All right,
you know this game.
Auntie
You've
Mama.
played it a million times. She's like, you know this. You're going to love it. You're going to love every second. I'm going to take all your cash. Sugar, sweet pea.
You're going to make me a star. Sorry, it's very infectious.
You're going to be a star. Oh, no, sorry. No, I haven't got that kind of power anymore. Great. So she's going to choose a D10. You can see that she chooses a D10 for her first one. So you could either choose to just be flat matching her, 1 less or 1 higher.
I flick my coin in my hands and I catch it in a weighted fist, and I'm like, it's got to be 1 below, doesn't it? Lady Luck doesn't smile on people who play safe, and I will pick up a D8 instead.
When you mention Lady Luck, there's a little murmur through the crowd like, oh, Lady Luck, Lady Luck, and she's like, Lady Luck, she's here. Where is she? Oh no, you're just talking about it. As that comes up.
So easily spooked for someone who spends their time on stage under bright lights. Who'd have thought it?
Great. I will tell you what you have to beat. She got a 7. You need to roll a 7 or an 8.
Oh, fuck. It's a 2. You're welcome, Mum.
It's a 2. The crowd goes, oh! Your dad is like, oh, bloody hell. As you roll this 2, she goes, oh, all these coins for me? She goes, 1 for me, 2 for me. She only gets 2, though, because she chose a higher dice. So you lose 2 gold. She goes, another. Normally it's best of 3, darling, best of 3. You're going to choose again. She's going to go for a D10 again.
I'm going to go for a D8 again.
Great. You have to beat... She rolls a 10. So you immediately cannot win. She rolls it and goes, look at me, la-di-da! And takes 2 more of your gold straight away. She goes, everyone, give me a chant, Lady Ziza. And a few people are like, Lady Ziza. And she's like, Lady Ziza. And she does some dancing around. As she does that, can you give me a perception check?
Yeah, all right. Fine.
So that's rolling a D20. And adding your perception modifier.
It's middling, and I think that's because I'm trying as best I can to avoid the eye contact of absolutely everyone around me in my shame. That's a 13.
A 13 beats it. But beats her score. You see as she's doing this, she you just about see it. She's doing some waves with one hand. In her other hand, she drops the dice that she's holding and swaps it with a different dice in her hand. From her pocket, and then sits down and goes, let's go, another game, here we are, 3rd one, final chance.
I immediately get up on my seat. I would like to minor illusion a siren, a police siren that flashes and rounds itself. That's created of a mechanism of spinning mirrors on the centre, so it pings all the sunlight off in different directions. And I will scream at the top of my lungs and be like, weighted dice have no place at this table, you cad. And I will try and snatch it from her hand.
Oh, you snatch it. The crowd is like, oh, the gasp. You see your sister's like, yeah, get it. And
Thank you,
Lady
Springley.
Ziza uncharacteristically has a little moment of not knowing what to do and having been caught out and so exposed. And she's like, oh, what? You didn't want a little spice in the game? Sorry about it. I didn't know we weren't using our own dice. Nobody mentioned that in the rules, darling.
I look around to the rest of the Reichen crowd, to whom gambling is sacred and a central pillar of our community. And I, assuming that they're all on my side, stand before them and say, the reason we gamble, the reason we play to win, is so that we are at the whims of Lady Luck herself. And everyone throws a prayer up to Lady Luck very quickly. Weighted dice takes away the sanctity of those moments. You are no longer welcome in this community. Mum, auntie, mum, fuck, and I will just pinch her dice and throw them down and be like, look, they're rolling the top numbers. She's cheating.
The dice are just all 10s. It's not even weighted. It's just an all 10 dice. It's like, whoops.
He's not even cheating well. This is so obtuse.
Look, last round, you can win back all your money. I'll use whatever dice you want. You give me the dice and we'll use the dice. Okay, we'll do whatever we want. Yeah.
I stand my ground and I look at her and be like, take your gold and get out of the camp. You're no longer welcome in the realm of Lady Luck. Get out of here, auntie, mum, auntie, fucking, I don't know. And I look at my sister, what is she?
She's like, what she is she's stupid. Frick off! And give me a persuasion check with advantage as your little sister helps you.
Yeah. Nat 20, baby.
20. Natural 20, a 20 on the dice, the best you could possibly do. You see the Russian crowd's like, yeah, go! They all like rally behind you, and she's like, oh, time for Lady Ziza to back off, and she taps into the distance.
She's in heels.
In her high heels on sand.
I mean,
Really
her dexterity must
strong
be off the chart. Yeah.
Honestly, I kind of respect it. I do. I step ball change off angrily to the side, be like, it's infectious.
As you step ball change aside, you bump into a horse, which is there. Off the back of this horse comes down a human. The human is in sort of armor, and you recognize this as one of the kind of guards of Hade, the main town in the Corstilation. He just silently passes over a letter to you and then gets back on his horse and rides away.
Sorry, mate, you're not my usual postman. Is everything all right? How's Meg? Oh, all right. I open it up. I open it up. Is it addressed to me?
Yes. On this thing, you see a hastily scribbled note, which says, Deadly Bramble, 3 years ago, you bet me one favour and lost. Today I call in that favour. V.
Oh, fucking hell. I've not been returning her calls. This is going to be really embarrassing. Springleaf, you know we said that we'd go sandboarding later and I'd teach you how to do a fucking sweet ollie.
Yeah, I'm going to do the best ollie of my life.
We are going to have to postpone that again. Got a little something to take care of. Sorry, sweet pea.
With that, we pan back from the camp and shoot across the deserty landscape to past this big central town of Hade, beyond it to a patch of land that at first seems like it has nothing in it. This is the small settlement of Nowsk. Nowsk, just about we can see as we zoom closer, that there's sort of little cracks in the edge of the surface of the land here, which, if we peek through, can see a community living underground. There are little caves and burrows and pathways all going underneath this little underground settlement. People are scampering out onto the surface above, where there's a little collection of people gathering together. This is the Kriksko people. The Kriksko ancestry are people who are insect-like, 2-3 foot tall, have hard, shiny blues and greens of different shades of their skin, and various forms of antennae dangling out of their head, and big bug eyes. Most of them wear some sort of embossed armor, quite heavy armor that they keep over their otherwise quite frail bodies. There's a group of 10 or so younger Kriksko scampering out into the main area. There's an older Kriksko getting them to line up. At the back of the crowd, scampering out of Nowsk into the lands above, is your character, Posey. Would you like to describe your character for us?
Okay, this is Bug. Bug is one of many bugs. All of the younger generation in Nowsk are called Bug, and Bug is just one of the crowd in that sense. Bug is a little bit stockier than their fellows. They have this sort of downy feather covering on their head, unlike their pals who all have a kind of peach fuzz type buggy kind of thing going on. And they have these two great big drooping long antennae coming out, and then these giant very shiny eyes. They have beautiful eyes, and they are wearing obviously handmade, kind of basic armor, but they are clearly very proud of it, and they've done these like little embossings on it, and they're very, very rudimentary. They're like little bug people, but it's worn with such great pride.
Great. You come out amongst your fellow students as the oldest Cricksco at the front, who you know as Teach, is this kind of teal-coloured Cricksco who has antennae sort of twirled together into a little bubble at the end. They're there and they're like, all right, everyone, get in your places. Let's all get together. Everyone good. You're nearly late, Feathers. What are you doing nearly late? And looking at you.
I'm so sorry. I was stuck in a small hole, and it was too small for me. But I'm here now, and I'm really sorry. And I'll go and I sit right at the very front of the class, and I kneel myself down.
Everyone else is just standing in a row, and you just go and sit at the front, like at the feet of Teach. They're like, all right, well, I like your enthusiasm, Feathers, but off you pop back into the line, and beckons you back into the squad.
Could you call me Bug like the other ones?
Oh, but Feather, we mean it in a nice way, Feathers.
I know, but I know.
Okay, everyone, all right, Bugs and Feathers, let's get going. And they say, everyone, call them to attention. You see everyone starts to rub their wrists together and do some sort of like flailing motion. They all have slightly different versions of it that they do. And towards them, coming out of the underground cave area, come their manti. The manti are praying mantis-like creatures with very small bodies, little heads, and then 4 pincer-like protrusions coming out of them, which they scamper along. They're like a couple of feet taller than all of the Cricksco, and all of them have a kind of little riding perch saddle on the back with a little ladder that comes down the side for them to be able to get up onto it. All the mantis scamper forwards. They're kind of different colours with slightly different details to them, and they all begin to scamper towards their respective Cricksco. What does Bug do?
Right, well, I psych myself up and I flip one of my antennae out of my eyes because they always flop into my eyes and it's so annoying. And then I take a big puff of air and I rub my hands together.
Great. I'd like you to give me an animal handling check with disadvantage.
Okay, come on. It's 12.
12. With a 12, that's not terrible. Your mantis comes out last from the group, like scampers up, like slips and whacks its head on the ground, and then sort of like scampers around to the side a bit. Doesn't really pay any attention to you, gets a bit distracted by the teacher for a while.
No,
but then...
I'm doing the thing.
And it eventually totters over roughly to you, but like not giving you much attention. You see everyone else in the crowd does like a bow to their manti, and the manti does a little nod back, but your manti with a 12 is not giving you anything.
I bow really, really deeply. And I just wait there until the manti looks like he's going to do any sort of bowing. I just wait until the manti bows.
You are there for a while. As the teacher begins to carry on, you're still deep in your bow. The manti does at one point sort of sniff you and sort of like...
There we go! He did it! See? He did it!
Do you see the teacher's like, all right, everyone, on your pop astride your mantis, and here we go, and looks over, and they've erected sort of little hurdles for people to jump across. They're like, obviously, nearly everyone did really well with this in the last lesson. We thought we'd just start off with this, just so everyone can sort of catch up and get on the same sort of level, looking over at you, Bug. And then we can move on to some other things. Yeah, how about just to prove that we can all do it, you know, that we're all capable with our manti. That'd be great. So on your pop, and people start to get on their manti.
The ladder is like a little bit too high for me, and I'm like having to like really reach my leg up, and it's so awkward and ungainly, and my armor is just like a little bit too tight. Like I obviously didn't make it for this sort of thing, and it's a real struggle, and it takes me like a good twice as long to get on top of my manti as everyone else.
Great, yeah. When you're like halfway up the ladder, the manti starts to wander away, so you get like vaguely dragged. But eventually stops, and you can sclamber up and get into the saddle. Everyone else is on their saddles, ready to go. And you see that the teach is like, right, everyone, 3, 2, 1, and go! Everyone in perfect unison sets off on their manti or like a perfect line to jump over this hurdle. I would like you to give me an animal handling check with disadvantage again to start with, please.
I'm like really flapping my little legs, like trying to kick my manti to get him go faster.
So cute.
An 8.
An 8. Your manti, you kick it, you kick with one leg and it moves solidly in that direction.
No, and then I'll kick with the other leg.
And then it pivots the whole other direction and goes to the floor.
You know those costumes people get where it's like clearly just one person in an inflatable horse and legs that are not secured to the side? They just kind of bimble around.
That's it. It's just flapping. There's so many flapping limbs.
So many flapping limbs. It's also very Harry Potter trying to get the broomsticks to work sequence. Is what I'm imagining. You with that, I'm gonna say now give me an acrobatics check with disadvantage because of the slight lack of control.
I have a -1 to acrobatics.
Okay, great. You and Nancy will share this.
Well, the first one was a 3, and the second one is an 11. It's a 2.
It's a dirty 2.
Dirty
2.
Oh god, as you approach, you're eventually like back and forth, you get towards the hurdle. The manti goes up a bit of more of a run up and then just slows down, just hits against the hurdle and topples whoop, and it hits forward and you just whack and fall right off. Everyone else is like in a perfect line waiting at the other side.
Did you see that he bowed? That was a really big bow that he just did. Did everyone see the big bow?
The teacher's like, wow, it's a really deep bow, significantly deeper than the other bows.
Manny, get up. Get up.
Manti starts to go to sleep off the ground.
He might be concussed.
Another Quicksco runs up to the teacher and delivers a note, and they seem to be whispering to each other a lot, and having some sort of hushed, slightly shocked conversation at the side. As they're distracted, you see one of the other bugs that you're training with, who you know is a bit too cool for their own good. They've got kind of really low hanging, perfectly aligned semicircles down in front of them with their antennae, with these beautiful little golden shiny balls at the end of their antennae. They look and they're like, have you not even been practicing? Are you even trying? Come on, Feathers, get your act together.
Don't call me Feathers.
But you literally have feathers. I'm just saying what I can see.
I know. But you know what? The bonds that are forged last longest.
You see everyone's like, the fort that lasts longest. Everyone sort of tries to get the little thing. One or two people are like, oh, it's unfortunate, mate. It's to themselves.
If you take a long time to forge the bond, then the bond takes a long time with you.
Right, yeah, but I got friends with my mantle on day 1. It's been working really well for me, so I don't
I
see
hate
what
this
you mean.
bitch.
Bro.
Hey, I know I'm not there, but she's gotta go.
She's gotta go. Let's change the campaign away and destroy them. You see that Teach addresses the group and says, all right, so we've got some communication from Hade, from the commander in Hade. Everyone's like, oh, Nowsk doesn't have much to do with the main township of Hade, let alone the commander who kind of runs things there. Says they're asking for one of the Quicksco to come forward to help with something in Hade. This hasn't happened for a long time. I don't know why they're even asking us. They're like, I feel like we just pretend that we lost the letter. Everyone's like, yeah, we lost the letter.
Under Bug's breath, you hear, time for Bug. Quicksco of Nowsk to show their quality. And then Bug's little hand shoots all the way up.
You see that the teacher looks at you and goes, yes? What? Feathers, what do you say?
We'll go to Hade. I'll do it. I'll go to Hade.
But this is the commander who needs a representative from Nowsk to go and, show what we're worth. Are you sure?
I'm sure. I'm sure. I'm so sure. I'm so sure.
But you're going to represent Nowsk to the people in Hade. You haven't been to Hade before, Feathers.
I know, but I know all about the cave. I can. The cave is good. The cave is ours. The cave is good. The cave is ours. The cave is good. The cave is ours. I can say cave is good faster than anybody else, and I'm really good with my spells now. And I think this would be a really good opportunity for me and my Manti to bond. And I promise I will do you proud.
You see that the other, students that you're with as you give this little speech are kind of, stunned to silence. The kind of meaner one with the big, beautiful golden antennae even, doesn't really know what to say and, isn't jumping in either and, slightly hangs their head. You see Teach looks at the person who's delivered the letter to them and is like, okay, Feathers, you're off to Hade. And there's a little murmur through the crowd. We pan back over and away from Nowsk as you begin to get yourself ready and zoom over to the little township of Ilia. Ilia is a sort of more artistic town. You see there's little statues up and people have painted the outside of buildings in various colours. It's a pretty small little township or village, basically. People walking through the streets. There's a couple of humans walking around, but there's also some gull. And there's 2 gull that we follow into a shop. The gull are an ancestry of people who have armadillo-like features, are slightly shorter than humans, usually kind of 4 or 5 foot tall. They have big armadillo-like ears and snouts with hexagonal scales, thick scales that run over their back and backs of their arms and legs, and they're usually some sort of alabaster colour of different kind of shades and tints. They're largely wearing kind of woolen, quite comfortable clothing, which they wear in kind of reverse cardigans over their arms and the fronts of their body to keep their scales exposed. There's these 2 elderly female gull are outside the door, and then one of them comes through, the other one heads off. These are your 2 sisters, and it's your sister Yessie that comes in. Drac, to your store. Would you like to describe your character and your store to us, please?
Yeah, I'll start with the store. It's complete. It's honestly think of a souvenir store with a bunch of stuff that you never will need, and you'll never. you probably just show people just to be like, "Hey, I went here at one point in my life." It's just full of those kind of knickknacks and stuff. All of it is hand carved or hand chiseled, whatever material he was able to buy or get his hands on. Zari himself, the owner of the store, is an Eodior, who is basically very closely related to humans. A very human appearing. He's about 5'10", 5'11", fairly lean build despite his age, which is fairly clear with the wrinkles and the silvery white hair. He's clearly in his equivalent of maybe 40s or 50s. He is right now wearing a really simple set of clothing, a pair of tattered boots. I'll be honest, it does not look great, but he's behind a counter, so no one can tell most of the time. Tattered boots, really woolen breeches, a really basic brown belt with really a fairly loose shirt with a deep V-neck and a purple jacket over it. His hair, his silvery hair is a pretty long, probably reaches the mid of his back, but right now he's wearing it in a tight ponytail behind his head. His skin is dark skin, but when the light hits it just right, it's kind of almost iridescent, so almost like a rainbow sheen whenever light reflects off it in the right way. And his store is named Etsy with an I. And that's the full title. The title is Etsy with an I.
Yes.
Etsy's not spelled with an I though. Etsy's spelled with a Y, but the title itself is Etsy with a Y.
Is it?
It confuses a lot of people.
Is it?
Like
an I. Etsy with an
it's
eye.
I, the character. It's just very confusing, very annoying.
But there's
It's like
imagery
said-
of eyes all over the shop.
It's like you said to a banner maker, I'd like it to get with an eye. And they literally made Etsy with an eye.
Yeah.
And you were like, well, I'm
And
going
it's
to go with it.
I can't afford for you to pay for you to change it. So I'm just gonna stick with it.
So funny. Your sister. This is your sister, Yessie, who comes in. Yessie totters in. She's an elderly gull, and she comes to the front and she goes, "Oh, Nice to see you, Sari. What am I going to buy this week? Oh, I can't wait to buy something new. You know that your sister comes in usually once a week to buy something. People don't come in very often and sales haven't been amazing, so she does this as a sort of a little thing to show her support of the store. She's like, oh, it all looks so good. Wow, I love it. Oh, look at that shiny little token of a pigeon. That's nice. Maybe that. Oh. She's like, what do you recommend? Anything new you've got in stock for me?
So I think he's fully aware, but I think he knows his sister enough to know that, like, if he turned her attempt at helping and like lifting his spirits up, if he turned it down, it'd probably upset her more than anything. So he goes along with it. So it's kind of like, oh, okay, I'm glad you actually came. So last week you came for the raven. I think the pigeon will actually really suit adding to your collection. And he kind of like takes it off the shelf and like, I actually carved this one specifically just for you because I knew you would actually really want it to add to your bird carving collection.
Goody, a flock of birds. Lucky me. So great. Sign me up. Great. How much is that, my sweet brother?
I mean, usually it would be about a gold, but, you know, family discount for you, just 2 silver.
No, a gold it is, a gold it is. I insist. And puts down a gold piece in front of you. You have this back and forth every time.
Yeah, every single time.
You, as she puts down that gold, little bell rings above the door, and in comes like a middle-aged human woman with red hair, with her little daughter, who is like a kind of just beyond toddler age and begins immediately scampering around the store looking at things. You see the girl sister Yessie is like, oh God, don't mind me, go, don't mind me, and she like scampers off to the side and smiles so widely at the customers who have come in. The woman's kind of looking around a bit more casually.
Young lady, do you need any help? Find anything you want?
I was just sort of browsing. I'll just give me an insight check.
Okay. Nat 20. So 23.
What a one to get that 20 on. Imagine if I was like, she's evil. This is it.
This is the big bad.
This is the end villain. You see that she, with a nat 20, you know, she came into the store, has immediately realised it's not what she needs, and is doing the like compulsory circuit, being like, "Oh, nice." But is
a classic
very not
Patricia
interested.
move.
Oh, God, classic
This
Trisha.
is very based on Patricia, I must say.
She would hate this if
yeah,
she
so
were
she's
here.
kind of doing the circuit, like, interesting, looking at things.
Okay. The little kids, where are they looking? Are they like looking anywhere in particular? Or are they just running around everywhere?
They're running around. They start to pick up some stuff and like look at it and shake it and put it out and like put it down. And they go over. They go to kind of the more like ceramic-esque area of like quite beautiful looking little things. But then they go over to more like cuddly toys and little like clay figurines of creatures, which are around on one side as well. And they start to kind of zoom them around a bit.
I think I'm gonna go over and like pick one up like next to the one that she might have just grabbed at. Just go, would you like one of these? And it's basically like it's a pony. It's essentially a pony but with like I'd say I really thought of it, so I'm gonna go with it. I guess we're gonna get sued by another company. It's a pony but with a mane of fire instead. I thought about like, oh wait, that's just a Raffy Dash, but oh well.
No, it's a fire pony, which is
a fire pony.
Unbranded fire pony.
It's an Inferno
horse.
pony. Inferno pony.
Oh yeah.
Infirmy.
Very good. You give me a persuasion check to make this fire pony exciting.
Okay.
Excuse me, with like triple advantage, are you joking?
The DC is 1. The DC is 1.
I mean, I rolled pretty high anyway, so like, I'm good. A persuasion.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna use my complimenter. That's how good I did. 16.
16. With a 16, you see the little girl's like, yeah, I love it. Ow. And like picks it up and like starts to zoom it around. She goes, Mum, can I get it? Can I get this? Look. Nay. And the mum's like, darling, we can find something for you elsewhere. Like, you don't need to get that.
Are you
She's
sure?
like,
You can get it here. I mean, she seems to really like it. If you want, I can give you a discount for it.
I was like, discount? Like, how much are we talking?
50% discount. It's usually 2 gold. I can give it to you for 1.
How about 5 silver and we'll call it a deal?
That's 25% of what my original cost. How about eight silver?
She see the little girl's like, Mom. She's like,
And he kind of like gestures to little girl, like, see, she really wants it.
It's like, right, okay, fine, yes, 8 silver. She gives across 8 silver to you, and the girl is super happy. Goes, yay! And starts to zoom it around the store. As she does, I'd like you to give me a dexterity saving throw, please.
Oh no. Okay. I mean, that's still pretty good. 18.
Great. With an 18, the little girl goes zoom, boshes into like one of the big cases full of loads of very fragile looking gifts that you've carefully made. She bumps into it.
Can I flavor this?
Yeah.
I think the moment he sees that, you just see like suddenly a purple mist just shoot out from his shoulders out in front of the falling like shelf, and just a misty version of him appears and like reaches out, holds the shelf in place to keep it there, and he just goes, "Ooh, thank you, Resonatia. I don't think I would have been able to move fast enough to do that myself."
Very cool. Your misty version of yourself keeps this up, and then does it fade away? Does it disperse? Or does it
Once it's like stable, it disperses and like goes back into the mist and shrouds me, and like kind of sinks into my skin again.
This little girl is wide-eyed. She drops her pony. She's like, you see that the mum is also quite like, oh my god, okay, it was time to go, and she like scams out. She's not like scared, like she's not like repulsed or anything. It's just like a lot. And,
yeah,
quite
yeah, that's very fair. He kind of like grabs up the pony that she dropped and goes, "Wait, you forgot your pony? You forgot your pony."
You see the girl like quickly does run back and grab the pony, and then scampers out and goes out the door. As they barge out the door, you see your other sister, Yersa, who is at the doorway, sees them go and comes in and goes, "Oh, that's exciting. Some customers leaving in a hurry because they were so excited about all their many purchases, hopefully."
I mean, one is more than none, so I take that as many.
We'll take one. Yessie's like, 2, and holds up her pigeon. Two.
Yes, 2.
You see Yersa comes in and goes, darling, this was dropped off. I said I'd pass it on to you, and gives you a letter. Which is addressed to yourself.
I open it up.
The letter says, "Sorry, you were once an important adventurer. I ask for that time to return. We need you now, V."
Do I know who V is?
V, you would understand to be Vaida, who is the Vaida, Vaida. Vaida is the commander of Hade, and the commander being the kind of most senior, kind of military-esque but senior position in Hade.
Oh, I think like there's a he has kind of been like on this rush of like first sale of the day, probably first sale of the week to be honest, but like but he's like on that rush, but he kind of see like immediately like drop when he reads the letter and just did you read this? And he kind of like turns to Yasa, like, did you read it?
You see that they both kind of look to see if they are allowed to read it, and like they go to read it if you're happy for them to.
Yeah.
They both look over your shoulder, each side putting a hand on your back as they read. As they read it, they kind of rub your back and give you a little squeeze on the bicep. And they're like, "Oh, darling." You know, they look at each other and they're like unsure whether to say. They're like, "You were so happy back then with your adventuring and running around. You know, maybe this is good. I mean, the shop is great, but maybe this is a nice little thing."
I'll talk to Vader and see if it's something I can do. It was fun back then, but it's not like back then. You know?
Of course it's different. Of course it's different, but different doesn't always mean bad, sweet brother. This could be good for you.
I'll talk to Vader and see what exactly he needs help with.
Either side of you, they wrap you in a big woolly hug with their woolly jumpers and nuzzle into your chest. As we fly out of the shop and move away from Ilia and towards Hade. however long it takes you to get ready, I imagine you're all kind of trying to get to town pretty quick. We zoom around Hade and get a sense of the town. Hade is a more bustling place, which is like a township, so it's the biggest township, and it lies at the center of this Corstilation cluster. At the very center of the township, everyone is dwarfed by the looming height of the core tower, which lies on spindly legs stretching high up into the sky, and at the top is a metallic core, which is what creates the barrier between this Corstilation and the dangers of the Tundro outside, this big protective dome. You all, in your own time, travel into Hade and arrive here in the center of town, where there's kind of a marketplace over to one side, which is very busy, and the core tower here, and various like important buildings. There's a training institution here, all surrounding this kind of central area as you come to the center of town. When you all arrive in, and your various paths in, taking various amounts of time for you to have trekked here, you reach this central area. Let's just roll and see. Great, so Bramble, you see Veda underneath the core tower, like underneath these spindly legs. She's just there, not like completely lurking in the shadows, but obviously kind of trying to keep away from things. Like, people very much know who she is.
So she is a she, and she is quite important.
She is very important. She's the commander. She's in her like 30s. You see she's got a brown ponytail pulled back. She wears kind of medium armor. She's got 2 maces that she wields at on her hip. And she's pretty buff and tall. She's a human. And she's there waiting, kind of just looking around.
There was me thinking that embarrassing myself in that bar at the Winter Festival would never come back to bite me in the arse. It's been a long time. How are you?
Bramble, nice to see you again. She shakes you by the hand. She's like, how have you been? Still getting up to mischief, I imagine.
Yeah, few different homes in as many months. What about yourself?
Still, busy as always, but going generally pretty well. It's the marketing pilgrimage coming up, so a lot of things going pretty wild for that. The marketing pilgrimage is this time where a group of travelers will go to another Corstilation far away to try and trade their produce, but it means crossing the tundra, and it's all very dangerous. She goes, so we're really leading up to that at the moment, so that's keeping me very busy.
Cool. I like the dual wielding look as well. You only had 1 mace last time I saw you.
Thank you, I'm improving. She gets them both out and does a little swing around. She's like, look at me go, look, and puts them away.
That's sick. I pretend to fight her. We're like, yeah, let's go. We play fight for a bit.
Cool. You see, let's see who comes next. Sari, you approach. You see Veda play fighting with a Ryshan woman who you don't recognize.
I don't want to. Are you busy?
Sorry, Veda, you expecting someone else?
She goes, look, I was expecting someone else. Yeah, as much as I trust you, it's not just you who's going to help me out here. This is Sari. Sari's was a wonderful adventurer back in the day, and I'm sure you haven't lost that now, have you, Sari?
Well, I hope not, for whatever you need me for, but I need a bit more details, I'll be honest. It has been quite a while.
Yeah, it'll absolutely become clear. Don't worry. Zari, this is Deadly Bramble, Zari.
Bramble.
Deadly Bramble. Just Bramble?
Bramble. Oh, yes. Any shortening of therein, I'm not precious about it.
Okay, I'm Zari.
Pleasure indeed. Well, count me heartbroken, Vader. I thought I was...
I'm sorry.
The only one you had eyes
Am
for.
I
imposing?
Something like this. No, not at all.
Oh.
No.
As you have this little chat, Bug, you are you atop your manty as you come into town?
Yes, I think this is why it's taken me so long, is that it's been a rather roundabout sort of trip, and I'm looking kind of dusty and a bit frazzled, but I get there eventually.
Great, you've done a few circuits of the outside of town before making your way in. As you wander over, you see, like, you don't really know what you're looking for. You see that she beckons you over, seeing you, and calls you over. And she goes, "You must be from the Crixco people. You're here as one of the volunteers from the Crixco. I appreciate you coming. I know this is a rare thing."
Hello, it is a privilege to meet you. My name is Bug, and on behalf of Nowsk and the cave and the Crixco community, I bequeath you this piece of our cave. And I give her a rock.
She's like, wow, that's very kind. Thank you. She takes it and doesn't really know what to do with it. And she's like,
I could actually probably could use it if I had a chisel on me. I could probably make a really interesting figure with that. Do you mind if do you have any more of that?
I've got a knife if you need it.
I have so many more bits of rock. Who else would like some rock?
I would love a rock.
Oh my goodness, I get a massive piece. It's like honestly the size of my head off of Manti. Here you go. There you go.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna put it down. Should not lift. Oh yeah, I should have bent my knees.
I give side eye to Vader at the sight of this old adventurer clasping his back. He's your knight in shining armor, is he?
Look, you don't know exactly what you've got in store with this guy. I think he's got a couple of tricks up his sleeve that you'll really like, actually, Bramble. And the Crixco community, I know you probably don't know the Crixco. They don't tend to kind of get involved that much, and that's fine, but I'm very glad to have you here. And they're a fun folk. They've got some skills that I think you might both be impressed by, as small as they might seem and as sort of peculiar as this one in particular might seem, and looking at your feathers, it's like, I still have the utmost faith in all of you, and I appreciate you coming. It means a lot to me. You see that she's looking a little bit uncharacteristically anxious.
I just bow very deeply.
Give me an animal handling check with disadvantage.
One of them was a nat 20. I'm just saying that. The other one was a 9, so it's a 14.
Wait, I want to do something. I think Zari kind of sees and is like, "Oh, this is cute. You can do it. Come on, Manti, you can do it." And I'm going to use cheer, encourage them so you can roll again.
And on top of that, I'm going to twiddle, spurned as I am in this moment, flick my coin between my fingers and just be like, "Don't worry, Sam, be lucky." And I'm going to use my Restore Balance feature as a Clockwork Soul Sorcerer, heavily reflavoured, to cancel out your disadvantage. So you're going to roll flat.
Whoa.
Okay.
Go for it.
It was a 13, so it's a 17. An 18.
Oh.
It's an 18.
Oh. You do this one bow, which is very much to Vader, but your Manti is keeping an eye on you. First, doesn't seem interested at all. There's a little bit of encouragement from Zari and some magic from Bramble. And you see with the bow that the Manti acknowledges the bow and also does a deep bow to Vader and to you. To both of you, bowing down and looking at both of you. You see this big mantis-like creature is with Bug here and is bowing deep. You haven't seen a creature like this before.
Is anyone going to address the massive fucking grasshopper in the room and tell me what this is?
I've never heard of that expression. I thought it was elephant. It's an elephant?
What's an elephant?
Oh wait, you mean you haven't? Don't worry.
Now I'm worried. Is that an elephant?
It's a terrifying creature, but you don't need to worry about it. I think they've gone extinct at least at this point.
Oh,
so
thank God.
I
I eye up the Manti with extreme suspicion, and I go over to him, just touch it.
No, be careful, he bites. This is Manti. He's a Manti.
Does it? How quick does he bite? I poke him.
I'll see how he feels about you. He's okay. He kind of shuffles away a bit, but doesn't bite.
All right, it's fine. I've got a little sister. It's a lot like having a pet like this.
Whoa, Manti. Whoa. See, we have a really close bond. So whenever he gets spooked, I soothe him.
You see he's looking full up into the sky and hasn't acknowledged anything that's happened. And is looking up at the core tower and is like almost wanting to climb one of the legs. It's like,
I pretend that he's bitten me. I go, oh no! He's attacked me. No, quick, calm him down. Calm him down.
Whoa! He climbs when he's calm. What? Oh, is he gonna come
Yeah,
down?
I thought so. Yeah, you're doing a great job.
Yeah, he's like hanging from his little like hooked pincers, like sliding down the side of this leg. You see Vader is like, right, look, okay, I'm glad you're all here. I just hope this beginning of a bonding that you're all having together is gonna stick with you, and you'll help me out. Look, okay, you know that everything's a bit wild with the marketing pilgrimage coming up. I've got a lot going on. I don't know if any of you have met my son, Geely. He's a good kid. I don't know if you met him maybe when he was a little kid, Bramble, but he's 14 now, and he's been getting pretty into his sort of fancying himself as a little trader himself. He likes to buy things and sell them on and try and mix them up, and I don't really understand it, but it makes him happy, so I've supported him. Look, and to be honest, I'm glad that he's doing something different from me. I just followed what my dad did and became commander as well, but he's making his own life for himself, and I love that. But he's a characterful boy. He's always got his quirks. And
Can
with
I
his
roll
ambition,
history to see like how much I remember about this boy?
Yeah, 100%. Roll me a history check.
Well, I rolled a 2, which makes it a dirty 1.
21. She said to you like, oh, you might remember him. You fully don't.
You got your son, just the one. Yeah,
you remember
just
him.
one son.
Yeah, just the one. Yeah, you met him, but it was a while ago, so he'll look very different. It's fine.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah. Ginger boy.
Just roll a luck check.
19.
Oh! He's canonically ginger.
Flame head. Lovely.
Yeah, flame. Yeah, exactly. Look, he's
lucky.
He came before dawn broke. He came to market to sell some of his produce and buy some stuff to try and get things together ahead of the marketing pilgrimage. It's a really good time for him to get things going. He's been trying to prove himself to me because I didn't let him go on the marketing pilgrimage. Obviously, he's only 14. So he's trying to prove that he could do it, thinking that maybe I'd let him. So he came to market early. He was trading, but I don't know where he is. No one's seen him. I can't find him anywhere. That's very not like him. We were meant to meet for breakfast, and now he didn't meet me, and he'd never normally do that. And I just have a feeling that something's maybe gone a little bit wrong. He's got lost, or he's trapped himself somewhere. I'm sure it's nothing. I'm sure he's, just being silly. But I just wanted to make sure I had good people here, just in case.
Can I just ask? So you reached out to the Nowsk community to help you find your son because he missed breakfast?
Look, I know it sounds stupid, but he's a good boy. He would never normally miss breakfast. He loves breakfast, and I've asked around. It was an hour or two, and still he wasn't coming anywhere. I went around town. Town's not that big, and he's nowhere to be found. So,
could I roll an insight check to see if I believe this? In fact, could I 100%. Use the gods? Could I call upon the gods?
Calling upon the gods.
Whoa.
Oh, honey, to explain what Posey/Bug has just invoked, we have a whole pantheon of gods read some participants from a local youth gaming group that we're going to call upon to give us some important/super dumb rolls. Anyone can invoke them, including Robbie or any of our NPCs. We're going to see a clip of a god dice roll that they have sent us graciously from the heavens, bestowed upon us here on the material plane. And whatever roll is given to Bug by the gods, Bug will continue to use in their adventure.
Great. Bug, I need you to tell me, just decide 1 to 15, a number between 1 and 15.
3.
Here is the god roll from the audience. That's a natural 20 from the gods! Oh my goodness, gods, that comes to us from Mother Teresa, TM. Thank you,
Lady
Mother
Luck
Teresa,
smiled
TM.
down upon us.
The cave looks
Wow.
over us.
The gods are looking over us, thank goodness for that.
I feel coddled. I feel coddled in their love.
Yeah. Thank you, audience gods. With a nat 20 bug, you look at this woman who is dedicated to her career and being commander. You see, even just in how she looks around, you can see that her mind's whirring of things she has to do. You think that maybe also she hasn't got the best relationship with her son. She doesn't really know how to relate to him or what to do with him. She's never really understood him. And that has always put a deep fear in her heart that he won't be able to look after himself. She's very tough and strong. He's obviously not. And she's very stressed that something... She's alluding that it's nothing. It's probably he's just around town, but she's deeply lying to herself. This woman, you have been very sheltered in Nowsk. You get the impression that she knows of dangers that can exist, that are beyond what you would consider normal. And so him not turning up might seem like nothing, but to her, she's like, the potential stakes are very high and she's not willing to risk it. Is what's going on here as a parent.
I tap a little feelery arm on her calf and I say, there.
She goes, yeah, look, it's thank you, small creature.
I tap an arm on her shoulder and I do exactly the same, like, there. And I look to Zari.
Do you mind if I...
If this is helpful, then yeah, all tap me.
I mean, I don't know, but you kind of like pat her as well.
Three new friends tap the commander of Hade at different heights on her body, saying there. She stands fully like erect and is just like, thank you.
I whisper to everyone else to be like, we've got previous, like she needs this. She needs it. It's okay.
You see that she is a little, like, with that insight still hangover, you see that she does actually get a shred of comfort. Like, she doesn't have people in her life who would just be like there and kind of comforting to her. So there is a little shred of comfort that comes from this, which she kind of shakes off and she's like, right, okay, so what you need to do is, I think, best to ask around the market first. That's where he was last. See if anyone's talked to him. One of the other issues is that I've got 4,000 things I need to be doing preparing for the marketing pilgrimage. They leave at nightfall, so I've got to go and help them out on the east side of town. And if they see that I'm stressed and dealing with things, then they're just going to get even more worried and that could skew things and things could go wrong and then they could die out in the Tundro. So I just need to be focused on that for a bit. I'll come back and talk to you with whatever you find out. But just, yeah, start checking around. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. And just please keep this between us.
Of course.
Sure.
She goes, thank you. You see someone's like beckoning her over. She's like, right, okay, anything else? I've got to go.
Yeah.
He's going to be all right, Vader. He's going to be fine.
Don't worry.
Thank you.
Would you like some
Shula.
more rock?
I've got my rock. Thank you. I'll just keep
What's
that
his name
quick.
again?
Geely.
Oh yeah.
With the red hat, you remember the red?
The ginger guy. Yeah.
He's got
We'll find him.
As well. He's got little glasses. You can't miss him.
And he's got an earring.
Yeah.
He does.
Yes. Yeah. Earring, glasses, red hair, great. And she sets off. The three of you together, you're underneath the core tower. The marketplace is in the square just next to you that she's asked you to go have a look at.
Right, well, I don't know what everyone else's thoughts are, but bright red hair, fun glasses on, maybe getting a vantage point might be useful.
Oh, where can we go? I mean, I don't think I can climb up any of these buildings.
Oh. All right, well, I don't really know my lay of the land here, so I'm happy to go up and have a little survey if you all want to go and look around the town.
I would quite like to be up high rather than down low, because when I'm down low, people trample on me.
Oh, I'm really sorry about that.
Yeah, sorry, mate, that's a nightmare.
It's fine.
You okay?
It's fine. I'm just small. So I would quite like to be on top of a building because I haven't done that before.
I can put you on my shoulders if you like. Get you up to the top of there. Come on, my little sister does it all the time. Come here, you crickety bastard. And I will pick up Bug and put them on my
I don't understand half of those words, but I'm fairly sure they're compliments.
You're a crickety, ain't ya?
I'm more. I don't know what a cricket is. I feel like it's a good thing though. You've said it a few times in relation to me and Mum Auntie.
Only as a term of endearment. Come on, sweetheart.
Okay.
Hey, Zari, we might be able to, if you want to go and do you mind looking around the town? What would you like to do?
No, I don't mind at all. I can take the low ground, you take the high ground.
Wicked. My eyes go wide. I secure Bug to my shoulders and I begin running for the nearest ladder up a building or awning on a shop. And I want to spring up and try and get us to higher ground.
Bug has just never been this fast in their entire life before, ever.
Yeah, wind is blowing against your face in ways you didn't know was possible. Your antennae billowing behind.
It's not close your mouth, otherwise you'll eat flying things.
Yeah, these all kind of flat roofed buildings have sandstone brick, and there's awnings and crates and things. You can give me an acrobatics check to do kind of spring up to the top. And Zara, you're staying on the ground, right?
That's a 18.
Cool, then 18, you
Doing.
effortlessly, boing, 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 nimbly get up to the top, and Zara, you go amongst the crowd. What I'll say is, why don't we do a group perception check with you kind of giving each other look over there, to see what you can see all together.
Sure, just flat rolls.
Flat perception, yeah.
I'd like
Actually,
to cast...
with up above, you can have advantage for sure.
I'd also like to cast See Invisibility to help me with this.
Ooh.
Great.
I rolled a dirty 20.
Ooh.
I got 15.
I pull out my spectacles and select. Okay.
Like a jewellery appraising lens.
22, 15, and 20. Beautiful work, everyone. With that, you see everything. No. You look around, and as Zara goes, weaves between people who are haggling and busily getting about, trading food and trinkets and weapons and all sorts of things. You see some various things. First thing you notice is that there's a little magic store, magic table out in the middle of the square with some magical bits, all very basic magical things like toys almost, and little things that shine different colors, and little things can move in different ways, and etc. You see, and the person behind it is looking grumpy. There's a dancer over to one side who's telling a story to a group of kids through the medium of dance.
Can I insight check whether that's my birth mother?
You can insight, just a quick insight to see if it's your birth mother in disguise.
That's a 14.
With a 14, you see some billowy clothes throw you off for a sec, but you notice this is a human man who's dancing around in kind of billowy robes.
She's not in. They're not in high heels either, which is uncharacteristic. Okay,
you're maybe, then you get to the feet, and you're no. You see that there's a Rhaetian man in a dress who's showing off this beautiful coloured gemstone, which is changing colours to some friends of his. And you see that by Quick Strike Academy, which is this quite prestigious training academy, there's a kid who's getting reprimanded by a member of staff and told off. They're the kind of things that pique your interest. Otherwise, all seems pretty normal, but there's people buying food and all sorts of things.
Does See Invisibility show anything? I can also see into the astral plane.
Great. With See Invisibility, you do a scan of the space. You see on the magic table that there's some things, one or two of the little magical things. There's invisible elements to some of the magical trinkets, which sort of are to beautify it, largely it seems. But there's no invisible people.
And we can't see any flashes shocks of ginger hair on a more human frame.
You see, there's the one or two kind of red-haired people that you catch an eye on. You look, and there's an older man, and there's a little girl. And so, no, it doesn't look like there's somewhat of 14-year-old male persuasion.
Yeah. I look up to Bug, and I'm like, how old are you?
I'm nearly at my 15th birthday. Nearly. I'm more 15 than 14.
Oh my god, amazing. I guess I'm more 20 than 19. But, so you're nearly the age of this kid. If you was just in a marketplace trying to hustle, where would you head?
I think...
Have you ever hustled in a marketplace?
I would probably hide under a table in case someone trod on me.
Oh shit, you're the wrong person to ask. Bramble, what would you do if you were hustling in a marketplace? You'd find the unsavoury types and try and swindle them for cash. Oh no, Bug, we might be in trouble. I think you might have found the unsavoury types and swindled them for cash.
Does that mean that they're sweet?
Who?
Unsavoury. Savoury. I don't... Unsavoury.
A guttural purr emerges from this ration frame. I'm like, oh, that hit my spine in a funny place, Bug. They are indeed sweet folk. Oh, you had me there for a minute. Maybe we keep moving around the square.
I would be down to do that. And I can see invisible things and also ghosts and spirits for the next hour.
Amazing. I secure Bug and we're going to do like a lap of the square and see if we can see anything new from different angles.
Perfect. Sari, what are you doing down on the ground?
So I think you described a merchant, right? There was some people at stalls. I want to go to one of the stalls, and just like, quickly, like, I'm gonna like obviously look at their wares first and just like see if there's anything I'm interested in, because you never go to a merchant stall and not at least buy something. Come on, like.
Great. Yeah, you go. I described this like kind of little magical trinkety place with the kind of grumpy merchant guy. He's got kind of a big mess of brown hair that kind of goes down to his shoulders. A guy in his like 30s, and he's looking a bit pissed off, and he just watches you browse, and he's like, yeah, let me know if you want anything. We can sort out something, sort out a deal.
Yeah, can I have that crit like rock, I suppose it is. I mean, it look good. I think it'll look good to add to my staff actually when I get back home. Can I have one of those?
Yeah, sure. That's 1 gold. You see there's these little rocks that like are largely a very bright color, but kind of pulse into like lightness.
Yeah. I mean, like just ruffle through his like pouch and hand him 2 gold instead.
Thank you. Wow, thanks. Finally, people, some people don't understand the value of like a good trade and good deal and good produce when they see it. Thank you.
I know. I always seem to run into those kind of customers as well. I'm also I make trinkets and stuff like this as well, and I often run into customers who don't really appreciate the hard work people put into it.
Yeah, like it's not, you can't just like trade anything, like especially kids, they don't get it. They're like new to the business. They just think that like, oh, this is good, I'll trade it for that, and just like can lie their way through anything. It's so annoying. I mean, I have definitely run across some kids who've done the same to me, but it's not like you're talking from recent experience. Yeah, well, there's this kid in this morning who was trying to like haggle me with all my stuff and was like giving me such crap deals, and I was like not having any of it. It was very irritating.
Called it.
I think some other merchants down the road have been complaining about the same thing. Do you know where he went? I know, I don't think he did this on purpose, but I do think he probably needs a guiding hand to at least tell him how the proper manners when you're a merchant. He seemed like a newbie, right?
Yeah, he did. And let me spoil something. You see the guy's like, I didn't hear where he was going, but look, he was trying to sell me, like, first he tried to sell me like random knickknacks and things he had, and he tried to sell me these like things that you could like light on fire and then shoot and sort of like do a little explosion. And I was like, we're not going to buy it. That seems like dodgy stuff. We're not buying that. If you want to try that, you got to go to some other people outside of this market. We're good folk here. So I tried to get him to go and sell it elsewhere, frankly.
Okay, I think I see if I can go and catch up with him, because like I said, he seems very, very fresh and I suppose green to the business. I don't want him. He's obviously offering other people very awful deals, but I also don't want anyone to offer him an awful deal. Is learning the hard way is hard. I'd rather have someone have told me when I was starting off.
Yeah, all right. That's very good of you. Better than I just kind of shooed him away. So you're doing better.
Honestly,
than me,
no, that's fair. From what you described, apparently a lot of people have been undervaluing your honestly incredible work. So I understand the lack of patience there.
Thanks, mate. He gives you a little like fist bump, and it's like, thanks. That's awesome. Have a good day. Have a good rest of your day. Good luck with that.
You too.
Kid.
I also, if I run into any friends, I'll send them your way, and obviously make sure they give you like a proper deal for your produce.
Legend, thank you. You are Deadly Bramble and Bug. You're going around the top. If there's anything particularly that you're looking out for, let me know. But otherwise, just give me another perception check, both of you.
With advantage because of our height, because we're up high.
Yeah. Let's do it, because you can get wherever you want without people noticing.
Bug,
go on, Bug.
Bug is specifically looking for unsavory people because of what Bramble said.
Great.
15.
Dirty 20.
God, you reacted in a way that made me thought you'd do badly.
Well, it was a 15, which is not great for me, but I have a +5, so it's okay.
We love that. With those very good rolls, you're going around looking for unsavory people. You see there's this Raishin dude who's in this kind of like dress who is talking to some people, and you see with the unsavory look that they're kind of having some like sly conversations to each other. And it seems these people are real like people who want to get a good deal. So having some like shady conversations about having a good deal. He's showing off this like jewel that is like changing colours that he's got on a ring. And he's showing it to the people around him who are all seeming pretty impressed. And they're like, where can we get one? Where can we possibly get one? I need one. And he's like, sorry, he's already left the market. Like, you're not going to get it. It's only for me. I'm the only one who gets one. Like, he must be around here somewhere. Like, it's a small town. Like, we can definitely get one. It's like, look, he took his little creature out of town to go and sell the produce somewhere else. I think he said, like, if I wanted to buy more, because I was like, I'm going to get like 30, but I'm going to get one now and then get 30 later, because I can. And he said I could find him at the lumber mill. He was going to go to the lumber mill, and they're like, why would he go to the lumber mill? That's so gross. And I'm like, look, like, he's cool, he's edgy, it's a new thing. Like, don't be down on the lumber mill. Do you not know the lumber mill's cool now? They're like, yeah, sorry, I did totally know the lumber mill's cool. And they keep...
Do we hear all of this from the top of the building?
Yeah, so they're like leaning at one side of the building, like all like having this like hushed conversation at the side, so you can like get like above them.
And we are immediately above them, and Bug is on my shoulders, and we're just looking down.
And I'll very, very loudly say to Bramble, look, that man looks shady.
They all look up.
I slam a hand up on their mouth, and step back from the edge and be like, excellent work! Lesson number 1 in spotting the shady folks is you don't fucking tell them you think they are shady. But so well done, really well done.
Thank you. If we don't tell them they look shady, what should we tell them?
You like the cut of their jib.
Okay, I'll lean back over the edge and I say, excuse me, sir, I like the cut of your jib.
I run. Run, hand over. Lesson number 2 in spotting the shady folks. Pass with flying colours. Mark 3 is that you stop engaging with people that you think might be unsavoury or sweet.
Okay.
Should we go down and see what they're after?
Yes, I'm going to stop engaging with you now. And I run after.
They're just all like the circle of them, all just looking up at all this hat popping over and back.
I minor illusion a bird, just like a little crow. I think I do. I look backwards and just like spin the coin between my hands, and then like as it leaves one hand and goes to the other, that one goes. There's like a shadow puppet, and a bird leaves and goes and sits on the edge. And as if the bird was talking, they look at the bird instead. And I'm going to run over with Bug.
Bird is a gobby bird, and they all say to each other as you run away. Where are you heading?
Do we know where the lumber mill is?
Yeah, do we know where that is?
Bug, you definitely won't.
Okay, I definitely would.
But I think you don't even need to roll. Bramble, you know that there was an old lumber mill that is like abandoned. It's like you've never known it to be in use in your time. It's like just at the edge of town, like slightly almost out of town to the north side. And you'd know how to get there.
Right.
We should go and get the old man.
Yeah, we need to get the old guy, because if there's like a toll to pay or something, old people tend to have money, so we can get him to pay the toll.
I thought you were going to say discount. We'll get some like senior discount.
We will have a travel card. We need to get to the north side of town, which is on the trams.
Oh, good.
No. It's the lumber mill is kind of what it says on the tin, really. It used to lumber timber and stuff. But, you know, as lesson number 4 in spotting shady individuals is that shady shit will normally happen somewhere that is obviously abandoned. So I imagine we're on the right path here.
Okay.
Let's find the old man in case there's a toll.
Brett, you jump down and you
find
intersect with Sari in the marketplace. You've just come from this market trader who you were just talking to, Sari.
Yeah, so I think it's kind of like looking down at this like rock that's pulsing with lights. Like, it's gonna look really good with some of my trinkets. I could definitely like at least double or triple the price of one of them. And as he's like shuffling down the street, and he just goes, okay, so I don't think I got much information from that man when I think about it.
Are you like, saying this out loud?
Yeah, out loud.
You're muttering to yourself, sorry.
What? Oh.
Were you talking to your rock too?
No. I was talking to myself and Rizontia. Have you found anything?
Yeah, we We think that our boy might have been headed to the lumber mill. There are some really very talkative folks back there who are currently having a conversation with a bird, but might have seen our boy earlier today. Promised them various rings and doodads and all that.
And
so,
a shiny jewel. 30 more shiny jewels.
Yeah, I don't know where he's getting those
okay.
from. I'd love to know.
That's interesting. I mean, I just talked to someone who might have I assume they tried to hustle him, honestly. The offers that this young boy was trying to offer this merchant was honestly very insulting. I personally would like to talk to him about just the normal etiquette of being a merchant.
Absolutely. What did I say, Bug? First thing you do as a 14-year-old in the market, you hustle the dodgy folks for their wares.
Yes.
Yes.
Don't do it. I mean, don't do
Go
it.
now. Do it. Try it.
No.
Try it, Bug. Give it a go.
I don't really know what
don't.
hustle means, but I'll try.
Sell this piece of stone. I hand them back the stone they
Don't
gave me.
do that.
Holy.
Sell the stone.
That's holy.
What?
That's holy stone.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
You can get a higher price for it.
I mean, if it is holy, I suppose you can, but like, it depends what you're trying to get. I mean, I think we have something. I'm just gonna like try and gesture, like nudge Bug forward. Like, I think we're heading somewhere, right? We're trying to find that Vader's son. Right?
Yes.
Right?
Let's head away from the market. Let's walk away from the market and the hustling.
Yes.
and the shady
What
people.
What shame.
Sorry, you'll also know, you're maybe like slightly less familiar with Hade, but you have definitely spent time here over the years, so you probably would know roughly where the lumber mill is as well.
I seen Bramble probably like leading the way fully, but like he's like, oh no, I think I remember this place. Yeah, it's been a while, but I remember.
Hold up.
What are you doing?
You see from quite far away underneath the core tower, sort of like notices something and then like scrambles around like through them. Everyone's like, ugh, as this like mantis creature scrambles through the marketplace, sort of in your direction, but like not really going towards you, and like goes over to one side. You see the mantis actually goes up to a creature that you've never seen before, Bug, but the other two have, which is called a lamuk. The lamuk is like a small camel crossed with a big dog. There's sort of this like has camel humps, and has got produce strapped to its back. Pretty common for like traders to have a lamuk to get them from A to B with like various stuff that they need.
That's camel spelled backwards, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's a mix of lamb.
It's camel spelled backwards.
Yeah.
Oh,
Great.
I spelled it as if it would have been Comel spelt backwards.
I
take it all
spelled with
back.
the K at the end as well. So it's
Yes,
really
I had it with a K.
That's pretty different. Yeah, you're right. That's substantially different.
very fantasy. Very fantasy.
Thank you very much, fantasy world. You have to spell something backwards in fantasy. You just have to. Your mantis is like playing with it, but it's like sort of coming your direction.
Oh, this is it. They're gonna fight. They're gonna fight. Manti, no, don't kill it.
Lamuk's famously pacifists.
Mantis
I've never seen a violent Lamuk.
Mantis are very violent. Manti, no, stop it. Stop it, Manti.
You see the mantis, like the lamuk is just fully like nearly doing nothing exactly to say super pacifist, just like panting a bit as the lamuk just like kneads against its back and like scratches an itch and is like super not doing anything aggressive at all. As you do your little shaky, it doesn't necessarily properly clock where you are, but it scampers off away from the lamuk and in the direction that you're sort of heading.
He's leading the way. Let's follow him. He knows the way.
Oh.
Okay, that makes a few of us, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You set off after the mantis with Bramble doing some like, let's ignore the mantis and go this way instead. You wind down these paved streets where it gets a lot thinner, much fewer people, especially as you get further out of town. Houses get a bit more sparse until there's not so many people around and not so many buildings. Eventually you get to the kind of towards the outside of town. You can see out away from the township into the landscape around you. You see that there's this big dome over your head. It's largely kind of just like rocky earth and bits of sand and occasional shrubs and undulates, so you can't quite see that far out away from the township itself. And here at the very edge is the abandoned lumber mill. quite a large building. Half of it has fully crumbled and fallen away. So there's a big kind of chunk out of the side. And there's bits of like hanging beams that have fallen down, etc. And where the door was is just an open archway.
Huh. A little bit uneasy in this part of town. You seem to have known your way here, dear Sari. Been here before?
Yeah. I mean, it's been a while, but I just passed. I never had a reason to like actually go inside, or so. Once you go inside, I'm not going to really know the layout. But
Damn.
I mean, we're just looking for a young boy. I don't think we have anything to worry about.
Yeah, okay. Just got a bit of a feeling in my stomach. Should we go inside? I've got a little bit of magic that might be able to give us a heads up if someone decides to follow us in.
Does it look like it'll be dark in there?
This big chunk covered out the side, you think probably the main area will be like shadowy, but well lit enough because there's the sun just beaming in.
Okay. Irrespective of that, I like the dark, and so I'm gonna invite you into the dark with me, and I'm gonna extend my eyes of the night to both of you. So I think I do this by just giving you like shin hugs. And I'm like, close your eyes and count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
And then when you open your eyes, you'll have 300 feet of dark vision.
Oh, whoa.
Holy fucking hell!
I really like the dark.
You crickety bastard.
Thank you.
All right, inside. Let's go into the abandoned lumber mill.
You head inside.
Oh no, hustle everyone inside. And then it'll be like, oh, hang on. Just in case someone decides to follow us and we end up meeting an untimely end, I'm going to turn around into the open archway that crumbles before us. Just cast the alarm spell, which I think looks like me setting like little hair traps on the outsides of the doors, like pulling a thread from the linens I'm wearing and like laying them in a tripwire just outside it and like flicking the wire so it's taut. And creating a little arcane link between me and it, and be like, if anyone's coming in, we might get the drop on them is all. Onwards then.
Cool. You head through. Yeah, this is like quite an expansive area. There's like old sort of machinery and lots of like rusted old pieces of metal, as well as just like sawdust around a lot of bits of old wood. There's like a higher area, which is like kind of almost a little balcony area now around the outside where it hasn't fallen away, and then all this like rock and rubble where it's fallen away to one side. It is dark and shadowy as you go in, with the light beaming through in beams to your left. Your footsteps echo through the lumber mill as you step forward. You hear a voice come from up above saying, "Who dares to enter the..." The alarm goes off from the front door. And you see the person talking from up above you to the front is like, "Holy shit!" And then the people behind you going, "Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god!" As you look behind you, you see that there's three like quite short-looking, cloaked, in these black cloaks, figures who come through. As they sort of spin around, you see on the back of their cloak, they've got the kind of symbol of a hand flipping the middle finger, with a sword stabbed through the hand. You see that they're like, "Oh my god, oh my god!" And you see that various people in kind of like hidden behind things all like poke their heads out, obviously about to do like a cool like step out from the shadows entrance, but because of the alarm have been thoroughly spooked and come forward. You see that
I think the alarm sound is actually the sound that a fruit machine makes when you win, when it pays out. There's like a combination of like tingling and like little bells that go off on the side, and like, "Jackpot, sweetheart, your boys have just snuck in behind us."
That sound plays, and they all are very spooked. There's about 15 of them here. You can't see them a lot because they're in these cloaks, but you can tell from their frames that there's a few different ancestries of people here. You see the kind of like bigger, bulky back of a gull. You can see bits of fur of one of the Ryshin, but they all look quite like young. There's the one who was talking up front who was like, wow, cool, yeah, cool alarm that you did, but that won't stop us. We are the Bad Knuckle Warriors. Bad Knuckle! And everyone goes, "Bad Knuckle!" and does like a little like pump thing forward.
Bad Knuckle.
Like,
Shilly, is that you, mate?
You see that they all look around to each other. They're like, "What? Who's Geely?"
Is anyone here ginger? Be honest, because otherwise we'll just have to find out.
You see that there's a girl to the side who like puts her hood back and has got ginger hair. She's like, "I'm ginger."
Bugger it, not you. We need a boy. Any ginger boys here?
They're all like, "Ginger boy? What's the big deal with a ginger boy?" She says. The ginger
I
boy.
want an insight checker.
I would
Be
like to as well.
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? What do I know?
Great, everyone give me an insight check.
What do you
Nat
mean, what do you
20!
mean?
Oh,
Damn,
you
okay, well.
insightful people.
Not one.
Whoa. I mean,
Social
I rolled
skills
a
is what it is.
15, so
Oh,
like I'm
what about
okay.
it?
Middling, baby.
With
Love
a
it.
nat 1, you don't know if they know what ginger is. Maybe ginger isn't a colour that everyone can see, and only you have seen the colour ginger before today. With a nat 20,
My ginger, their ginger? Or
Yeah.
is it like,
Colour,
do they
what is
see ginger
colour?
the same way I see ginger?
Yeah, pretty
Is
much.
their ginger blue?
Yeah, so true. With a 15, you get some of this, but with a nat 20, you get a lot of information. You can see in her reaction and catching like glimpses between people, they absolutely have recently come into contact with a ginger boy. It doesn't seem like they are like, mwahaha, we have him stolen away here somewhere, but they have recently come into contact with him, obviously didn't think that much about him, and now there's some people coming in looking after him. Maybe also with a nat 20, you'd see a little bit of worry that you'd assume is maybe that they weren't super nice to him, and now there's people coming to...
Okay, so do I get the feeling that they didn't like him?
That you get the feeling that they're a bit like, like, who the hell was that? He sucked, and now people, like, kind of cooler looking older people are coming in asking after him. That's weird, because he was shit.
Okay. Does anyone mind if I try and intimidate a group of children? No, I won't do it if that really does make anyone feel uncomfortable.
I don't mind at all. I think
Please
it's
be
hilarious.
welcome
Yeah.
to.
Yeah,
Okay,
they're
we'll
all
just-
like 16, 17-year-olds, just so we all know.
Okay, well, they're not much younger than me, and in fact, that's worse. They're like the year below me at school, which means we have a fierce rivalry inbuilt to us.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I'm going to stand on any kind of dilapidated surface that I can. Like, I think Bramble likes getting up on a surface. And I'm going to try and use some charismatic weavings and say, look, we all know here that ginger bloke was a right wiener. All right? Wouldn't you like more than anything in the world for that wiener to be hung from a flagpole so that everyone can laugh at him? Now, who do you think in this room has the power to do that? And I will then minor illusion a small flagpole and be like, tell us where the boy is and we can all have a jolly good laugh. I want to like try and convince them to tell me.
Great.
While you're doing that, I'm just going to give you a little pat on your foot, and I'm going to say, "Yes, we will put him on the flagpole." And I'm going to cast guidance on you.
Great. 100% roll with advantage with that great RP and reasoning getting on their level. Bad knuckle kids and add your guidance.
Persuasion or deception or what? Or intimidation?
I'll allow, I think persuasion or deception make the most sense, whichever of those feel best for you.
Okay. Oh, 23 for deception.
That's not even including your guidance, right?
It is
That is
including my
what
guidance.
it
is,
I
okay.
used it, yeah.
With a
Thanks,
little
Bug.
extra spark of Crixco luck at the end there, you manage to weave this thing. You see everyone around, all the bad knuckle warriors are like some of them snigger to each other and they're like, that'd be so funny, that'd be so funny. The ginger girl is like, oh my god, that sounds like really funny. So yeah, like we want that. How do we do that? We want that.
Well, you need to tell us where he went is the main thing,
Okay.
because otherwise we can't find him.
All right, well, you'll appreciate this then if you think he's a bit of a twat as well. So, like, he came in and he was like, he thought that people had said that we'd buy his, like, stuff that other people wouldn't buy because it was, like, too naughty and things. Like, he had these, like, all these, like, tricks and, like, fiery things that would explode. And they were like, those bad kids in the lumber mill will buy that. And so he came in being like, oh, buy all my stuff. And we were like, you're a massive nerd and a loser. We're not going to buy your stuff. And like he was charging super high prices, like we weren't going to do that. So we were just like throwing stuff at him and like laughing at him and throwing rocks at him and stuff. And not to like hit him, but just like spook him. And we were like, I've got ginger hair, which is ironic because I have ginger hair. But like it was funny at the time. And he just got all spooked and scared. And then he had this little like scrawny lammock with him that got super scared when we all like jumped out and tried to scare him, and it like ran off out of town, and he got really worried because it had all the produce in the back, and like so he ran after it. So he went like maybe like northeast out of town and just ran off. Like so he'll be already back by now. He's probably caught up to it and like come home.
Northeast. Orienteering must be a primary skill in your sect. You mean a lammock took off at speed? I've never seen them care about anything.
I know, yeah, well, we spooked them pretty good. It was funny. We went up and went boo, and the lammock like reeled back and like ran off. I think one of the like trinkets or something like made a little noise and spooked it as well. It was like so funny. It was so good.
I stop listening to these guys and just swing my bejeweled ears to my friends, and I'm like, Bug, sorry. I think we're heading northeast, all right? That's not good if he's left the bubble.
No.
These children are
That way.
mean.
These children are mean. I quite like it, though. No?
It's nothing but just like, it's harmless hazing. You don't need to worry about it. But...
Yeah, Bug, there's a degree to which this sort of stuff is kind of okay. When it becomes bullying, then that's a no. But this is a light smattering. Maybe.
And honestly, to be fair, he was given, apparently I met the merchant that was given awful prices too, and he deserves it as far as I'm concerned.
Wow, brutal.
You just don't disrespect the merchant. It's a very honest job, you know? All we want is a little bit of respect. For
I know, you don't disrespect a merchant. People that give you things you need to live and food and drink and stuff, you can't be shit to them. Anyway, should we get out?
Yeah.
Yeah, bring back that boy on a pole and we'll all throw tomatoes at him and laugh. And all of them, like, the girl at the ginger girl's like, yeah, we hate him.
I'm going to use my mold earth cantrip to just like make a little lump under her feet so that she stumbles where she's standing.
Great, she's on the like raised platform above, so I'll do a dex save for her. She gets a 4. She like first
dies.
Fully falls from above, hits the ground, like takes some damage, but doesn't perish. As she's like like holding her arm, like, oh my god, get out, you weirdos!
That's harmless hazing.
Zing.
Well, damn. Well
Yeah.
I tap Bug on the shoulder and I'm like, that was fucking good, exactly. Well
Yeah.
done.
I'm a child too. Let's go.
They part as you go through, Bug swaggering out the front door.
Yeah.
I'm with
you
them.
Go outside. You look. So you know there's quite a way before the dome ends, but there's like some like wilderness before the edge of the dome and then the dome. But you look out. You haven't gone off in that direction before.
Can we get a lay of the land? Which way's northeast?
Yeah, I think probably because you're not like pressed for time, you can have a look at the sun and know the right direction that you need to head.
Could
in.
I roll a survival check to see if I can see any little tracks, like little lammock tracks?
Cool. Yeah, why don't you do a survival? Everyone who wants to can give you survival.
Oh, it's a nat 19. 24.
Absolutely.
Ooh. Spicy, spicy, spicy.
I rub my face in the dirt and get a 6.
I'll take that. I rolled an 11.
Like an emu, you try to go down into the sand.
I misjudged the distance. I went for a sniff, but I just put my face in the dirt.
Bug, with that 24, you're low to the ground, you're feeling confident. You do notice a little bit of a like lammock track. Which has another track leading behind it. The lammock are quite heavy-footed, so you can catch it just about. The sand is messing with it. But every now and again, you get these little patches of things which you can set off and start to follow.
I've caught its scent. Let's go.
Scent? Oh, okay.
Okay, I look at
Smell
Sari. I'm like, they can smell it, apparently. Fucking crickety
I'm not
bastards. So we are.
Thank you.
Let's go.
You set off out of Hade. The township goes behind you and you go further and further into just the open expanse. You cross these kind of expanses when you go between townships and settlements, but usually there's a path It's like well trodden, people do it a lot. This is a direction people don't go because the next thing is the edge of the barrier and then the Tundro. You are kind of going through, sometimes it's more like hard, tough earth with cracks in it, little kind of mini crevices. You go over like little mini cliffs and on rock formations, weave between more sand dune-esque sections. There's kind of billowy reeds that you'll come across, and it gets more and more unfamiliar. After walking for quite a while, you come across a structure, like an old remnants of a structure, ancient structure, just like the foundations of it, which looks quite large. There's some old smashed glass on the ground as well. This is covered in dust and hasn't been touched in a very long time as you come across it, but it's sort of just positioned in the middle of nothing. As you get here, give me an investigation check as you kind of observe it and look around a bit.
I whistle to myself and I'm like, woo, when I'm kicked out of the camp, I know where I'm coming.
I'm going to guidance myself.
Investigation, 8.
Yes. I rolled a 15.
I'm too busy thinking about what I do to decorate it.
I have...
Be home number 6.
I have a -1 to investigation, but with my guidance and a natural 17, I get a dirty 20.
Ooh, dirty 20. With a dirty 20 bug, again, it's still hot on the trail. You find it first. You see kind of round, like, the side and behind this old remnants of this structure, which seems so unfamiliar. Even what it's built with seems strange. It's kind of this greyish stone that you don't recognize. You see that tracks lead to where it looks like there was sort of a struggle. It looks like the Lammock track sort of, and there's like Lammock imprint of it being on its side, and then things like all tussled up, the ground is all contorted. Also with the dirty 20, you find where the earth looks like it's been wet, like it's got sodden, and then dried away to nothing. Your first instinct might be that this is blood. It's not red. If anything, there's like a slight greenish twang to it. And it's just little like splatters and globules of it on the earth.
Do I know any creatures that have green blood or any plant matter that might have this sort of green blood?
You can give me a nature check to think about
that. 17.
With a 17, you're pretty sure that you don't know anything of that sense. Like, it's not just like, I can't think, but you think through and you're like, no, there's definitely nothing I know that has that.
I'm going to bend down and have a look at this green stuff and stick a finger in it and lick it.
Great. You, it's like quite old and like caked. Like, it's not like liquid still there, but you can sort of try and get some of the bits of sand. Yeah, give me a check if you're trying to just like figure it out what it is exactly. I guess. I want to suss firstly whether it does anything to me, like tries to dissolve me from the inside out, and then secondly if it's got a magical hum to it. What you sense with just like little remnants of it on this bits of sand, when it hits your tongue, it like sparks, and it's not necessarily that it just hurts like a poison. It just like hits you hard and feels like it shoots little spikes into your tongue and down through your throat and into your body, that you just feel something obviously very not right and unlike anything you felt before. It's like absinthe. Oh, Jesus Christ.
You've had absinthe? Okay. It's a pretty strong...
Yeah.
Is that a plant?
It's a lot, yeah. Sorry?
How old are you again?
Me? More 20 than 19.
Not you, actually.
I'm more 15 than 14.
Okay, so well, when you're more, I don't know, 18 than 17, maybe you'll find out.
Okay.
Anyway, it doesn't seem right. Can I try and get a read of whether there's like a magic to it?
Yeah, give me an Arcana check.
Yeah. I can taste it. That's a 16.
With a 16, it feels like something not completely natural and normal. It also, with a 16, you know that it's unfamiliar. You know that it's not something you've come across before.
Strange.
I'm going to say that with that good survival check still in mind, and with Bug doing generally so well on these rolls, you can still get a sense there was this like tussle and struggle, and you also see that there's more tracks still leading away.
Does it look like the Lammock goes away too, or is this like the end of the Lammock's path?
No, it looks like the Lammock tracks are still there.
Thank goodness. Let's go.
I'm just going to quickly peek my head inside the window, and I'm just going to whoop. poke my head
Cool.
inside this building, and then leave.
So this building is like less than half a building. Like none of the walls are still full. There's like where the window should be, and then smashed glass like largely on the ground. But you can
course.
absolutely peek inside. Give me an investigation check, I guess.
Big time. You can have one of those. 10.
With a 10, you see that this window, like probably once upon a time, was like stained glass into some sort of like pattern, or showed some kind of story or tableau of some kind. But there's bits of like wood. Largely it's all kind of destroyed, and it just seems very unfamiliar to you. You're not you don't recognize any of the kind of iconography.
Might have been like a religious thing at some point. Might have just been a culty thing. It's not really my bag. Maybe we should continue on.
Yeah, we'll probably walk past. This is very interesting though. Maybe if we find our ginger friend and we can bring him back, we can investigate this place a bit more when we're on our way
We
back.
can have a sleepover here if we need to.
Yeah, I'd love that. I'd like to quickly write a little note and tack it to the wall saying reserved for Deadly Bramble, just in case I do ever need to live here.
You absolutely put that on the wall. And you set off. You keep going and keep trekking, following this track with Bug leading the way. You're getting closer and closer to the edge of the dome. You see it like it's enclosing down upon you as the edge of it is in your vision. And it feels more and more claustrophobic, more and more aware that you're approaching the edge. You come across you have to kind of clamber up a kind of rocky surface for a while, and then you duck over an edge, and then there's a little undulation of a sandy slope. When you get to the top, you look down, and you see a lammock. The lammock is there. Looks like it's kind of eating on something next to a little shrub with its back to you, but you can see its like bulk. It's got like its saddle with produce on its back of some kind, little crate, and it seems to be kind of snuffling around at something. As you come over the ledge, it stops and like perks up and goes very straight. It slowly plods its feet around. It's kind of like matted, furry texture to its skin. Its big lumps on its back. Its nice, strong feet plod around and turn and look towards you. You saw a lammock back in the marketplace. Very friendly, docile creature. This
Pacifist. Don't worry
as
about
they
it,
come,
guys. Like,
don't
couldn't
worry.
hurt a fly. Has tried. Failed to hurt flies. Really, really like docile animals.
This lammock does not look docile. Its neck is almost stretched and like broken. The skin on it sort of torn apart, like gummy, like sort of gum texture. And it's now longer neck. Its eyes are sort of wide and slightly whited over. Its jaw hangs a little bit too low, and out of its mouth oozes this greenish pus that falls onto the sand and congeals underneath it. It looks up vaguely at you, eyes wide, and screeches a roar as it begins to move towards you, a billowing roar that shouldn't be able to come out of a lammock's throat. And that's where we'll end our session.
Oh,
I put that in my mouth. It's
You did.
It's dribble. It came out.
put
It's
his
fucking
jaw in your
dribble from
mouth.
the nasty
what if you
hammer.
turn into? What if it's like rabies?
What if it's like a worm lammock?
Cool.
Oh, well, lammock.
What if it's like a Wallace and Gromit thing?
Yes.
And you become a
Oh
werewolf?
my God.
Gonna be
Well,
the
lammock.
lammock. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. That's our first episode. We've got more episodes coming, so tune in soon. And thanks so much for joining us. Goodbye.
See you later.
Bye.